exciting. Welcome into week 2 of Kelly's Practical Picks with me, Pugs, and her, Kelly.
Yay.
How you feeling this week?
Oh, my God. About what? Several different answers to that question.
All right. See, that's the beautiful thing about this situation. Here we have Kelly. Kelly is she's not a football crazy degenerate gambler type, but she enjoys the game. She's a football mom. It doesn't really follow the Adam Schefters or the other insiders of the NFL. She didn't care less. She's more. What's that?
I know who Adam Schefter is.
Okay, well that's good. And I know who Countess Luann is. It doesn't mean I know about the Real Housewives. Okay. All right. So my point is this: what Kelly does and has been doing for a number of decades now on radio across this great land is she picks games based on nothing more than the mascot's ability to conquer the other mascot. It is practical picks. It is mascot versus mascot. And I'm telling you, for 20 years now, Kelly has been out picking experts from former professional football players to former professional football coaches to the very voice of your Dallas Cowboys, Brad Sham, for a number of years. Last week, week 1 of the return of Pugs and Kelly's Practical Picks. Well, Kelly, how do you think it went for you last week?
I have no idea.
You don't care. That's what I love about it. She doesn't care.
I signed up for YouTube Premium, but does it have a separate?
I don't think signing up for YouTube Premium keeps you up to date on your picks. I don't know what that has to do.
For the Sunday ticket, whatever they call it, YouTube calls it.
Oh, so you can actually watch the games. But no, there are ways to actually find out the scores without having to actually watch all the games.
Get out of town.
There is. There's a lot of podcasts that do that. All right, so let me tell you about last week.
Oh, gosh.
First of all, let me just put it to you this way. In all the years that I've been doing this with Kelly, she's never lost the season to anybody. Okay, so I'll just get back off on. So it's about taking a look at the entire season.
Okay.
We also know this. The first week of any NFL season is known as Liars Week because we know absolutely nothing about what's to come in the season after week 1. Somehow, look, I'll give you an example. Last year in week 1, the Chicago Bears beat the snot out of the San Francisco 49ers. The Bears were the worst team in football, and the 49ers were a timeout away from going to the Super Bowl. So that's week 1. Kelly, you did not do well. You did not. The first week of Practical Picks not terrible.
Okay.
You were 7-9. You got 7 right. And honestly, if I may be so bold, I think you would have gone above 500 if you had stayed true to your Kelly. You didn't think that a panther was it a jaguar? You didn't think a jaguar could take a baby horse. You didn't think that the baby horse was going to get eaten by the jaguar. It was such a close game, too. Ultimately, of course, the Jaguars won.
He's not the one that screwed me, though. Aaron Rodgers continues to screw me over. Although
he didn't screw you. They won that game. You won that game. No, you took the Jets over the Bills.
I took the Jets. Aaron Rodgers was, what did he last? 3 minutes?
4 plays. Four plays. The other one that you lost that I thought made no sense was Seahawks were going to lose to the Rams, and your reasoning was because the Rams' hoofs would get caught in the sand, which didn't really make any sense to me. But okay, all right. If you could have those 2 back, you might have gone over 500. Is all I'm saying.
Well, there are horses. They do horse rides or whatever they're called when you ride a horse. I guess it would be a horse ride in the sand down here. And I hate it when they do that because then there's poop in the sand and they seem to get their hooves stuck. And I just felt like they wouldn't do well in sand.
Well, a horse is not a ram.
Well, but they're kind of built the same, 4 legs.
All right, let's get into this week's picks. It is week 2 in the NFL, and Kelly is not going to let last week's hiccup. Again, week 1 in the NFL. It's Liars Week, folks. That's what it's known as. Let's get into the next week, week 2. Let's try and just
all right, move on.
Here we go. Week 2, game 1 tomorrow night. This is the Thursday night game, Kelly. You've got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you got?
Well, I would do a Viking because it certainly doesn't care about an eagle because it doesn't really care about the U.S. What does the Viking even care about?
Wow. A Viking doesn't care about nothing. That's the problem with Vikings.
Yeah, they care about themselves. That's the problem with Vikings.
Very self-centered.
Yeah. I can imagine them using their axes or whatever on any animal.
Yeah. You don't think an eagle is crafty enough to maybe drive a Viking nuts? This Viking is up in a tree. That's where eagles live, by the way. This is a Viking in a tree, Kelly. Does this change your calculus at all? He's out there on a limb. He's trying to catch the eagle. The eagles are at home. Big giant eagles.
No. Because I imagine them also getting into logging, and I see how the loggers climb up the trees.
Yeah.
So I think that they can handle that.
All right. I'm just going to say
this. Or they chop the tree down with their mythical axe.
Just going to say this. You went 7-9 last week. Maybe you want to start off with a little bit better. Okay, that's fine. We'll take the Vikings over the Eagles. The team that just barely lost the Super Bowl last year. All right, Vikings over Eagles. She goes. Game 2. Hold on, let me make this etched in stone, Kelly. We can't go back now. You took the Vikings over the Eagles. Game 2. Let's head to Sunday. How about your Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cincinnati Bengal Tigers?
Baltimore Ravens. Oh, who's home?
It is the Ravens at the Bengals. Cincinnati is home.
Okay, it's got to be a Bengal Tiger because it can attack. It's at its own home course. It knows its way around.
It's classic bird versus cat. You know, I know this goes different ways, different times, but it's a classic matchup.
Except you'll bring up Tom and Jerry. Was that bird and a cat?
It was bird.
No, wait, was one a mouse?
It was bird and mouse. That's right. Bird. Tweety and Sylvester was cat and bird.
Who won on that? I wasn't big into cartoons.
Tweety dominated Sylvester, drove him nuts.
Oh.
You could.
I still have to go with not the bird.
Not the bird. Okay, she's going with the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals over your Ravens this week, according to Kelly. The next game Sunday. How about your Seahawks at the Detroit Lions? Now, again, another 2 in a row, another cat versus bird scenario. But can we, listening back to last, we gave Seahawks way too much credit. Can I just point out, Seahawks are just a badass name for a seagull. They're just seagulls. They're not like hawks.
No.
They're not like predators. They're just like scavenger birds. They're water pigeons. So let's stop acting like hawk is making them really badass.
I was willing them on because my son's flag football team was the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't win one game. They did occasionally they scored a touchdown. So that's not a good representation of the Seahawks either. So who are they playing again?
They're in the Lions' den. They are.
I gotta put the Lion, King of the Jungle.
What? Of course. What are you, crazy? All right. The next game we'll go to game number. Excuse me. Game 3. Oh wait, no, we didn't do Seahawks Lions. There we go. Seahawks Lions. The next game that we're going to go to. Colts at Texans. God, this is just Colts at Texans. Who can raise up a baby horse better than a Tex? This makes no sense.
And again, Texans ride horses. Horses don't ride Texans.
There you go.
No.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah. So I would imagine that it would be. Let's see.
It's Colts at Texans. So
yeah,
the Colts are already in a corral. You know.
It's Texans.
That's what Texans do. It's got to be Texans. All right, Kelly goes with the Texans at home over the Colts this weekend. Next game, let's see. Let's go. Hold on, I got to move my cursor. Hate when I have to do that. Next game, Sunday, we're going to go Bears at Bucs. The Bears at the Buccaneers. This is some wild bear animals on a boat with a bunch of flousy pirates.
Yeah, with a sword in their teeth, because that's what I always think of them as. They're on a butt. Yeah.
Here's the other thing.
Bears do swim, though.
Yeah, bears can swim.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Let me paint this little scenario.
Okay.
So pirates, I don't know if you know this, pirates oftentimes had a lot of wild animals on their boats because they would travel around to different places. They'd find a cool animal, they'd trap it, and they'd come and they'd give it to a king or, some dude, So it wouldn't be odd for them to have a bear in a cage on a pirate ship because maybe they're transporting and going to sell it because they'll do whatever it takes to make money.
Right.
So maybe they got a bear in a cage. But that's not what this is. This is that would be unfair to the bear. This is a roaming free bear on a Buccaneer ship.
I gotta still go with the Buccaneers, though.
Are you kidding? It's a bear.
Make the bear walk the plank, right?
Well, for every Buccaneer, there's a bear. It's 11 bears versus 11 dudes. Remember 11 fancy English gentlemen running from child support? That's what Buccaneers were. That's what these pirates were. But yeah, they were dudes running away from the law. And a lot of them were, deadbeats.
Okay. Then I'll go with the Bears because you should pay your child support.
Worked so hard for that one.
Own personal opinion.
Okay. She goes with the Bears over the Bucs. The next game, Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Jaguars. This is like last week. Kansas City Chiefs had to go up against the Lion. You took the Lion in that one. I'm
gonna take the Chiefs in this one again because of the weapons. And I don't know. I feel like I could justify them losing in a lot of ways, but there's a reason why there's a football team named after them, so they've got to be tough.
Well, they're the reason they're Chiefs. They're not,
They're in charge. That's right. Yeah. How can you not give it to the Chief then? They're in charge. They're tough. They run things. They're boss bitches.
Okay. Chiefs at Jags. She's going with the Chiefs. That's going to be a good game. It's going to be hold on, let me make sure that we get that locked in stone. Kelly goes Chiefs over Jags in Jacksonville. The next game, let's go with the Packers. The Green Bay football Packers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Who you got?
Okay. They're paper Packers. And they're going to play away.
In a tree.
But they climb trees in order to knock them down to make the paper.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. You're right.
I think that they can do that. I think that they can do that. I think the Packers can do that. I got to stop you.
These are not the Green Bay Lumberjacks. These are the Green Bay Packers. They work in a factory. These aren't the ones that go and cut the trees down.
Well, a long time ago, they probably had to cut the tree. Did they go the full process?
These are union workers. They saw an ad in the newspaper and they filled out an application, and now they make $18 an hour putting Scott toilet paper in boxes. That's what they do. That's what Packers are.
They can go on strike because lots of people do nowadays.
I mean, if it was the Green Bay Lumberjacks, I think, your argument about, well, they deal with trees, but Packers don't deal with trees. They deal with the paper. They don't work in a mill. They just pack it up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. Okay. They're just like loading up reams of paper, taking breaks, smoking cigarettes. And I don't know.
And they're in a tree. They're like on a tree limb, like next to a nest.
I am sure that is against union rules.
That's probably.
There's no way that they do that.
So who are you going with?
Not the Packers.
Not the Packers. All right. There you go. Like week one was a liar. They're not good. I promise they're not good. They can't be. Let's see. How about the Chiefs, Jaguars, Bears, Bucs? What's the next game we got here? Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Buffalo St. Bills. The Buffalo Bills. Raiders at Bills.
Oh, come on. I'm not sure. Did the Bills fight people? What did the Bills do?
Well, we don't know what this origin story is. Here's what we know. The city is called Buffalo.
Right.
Okay. And then there was a famous guy named Buffalo Bill Cody. But Buffalo Bill Cody wasn't from Buffalo. He just killed buffaloes. That's why they called him Buffalo. He was a cowboy. He never made it to upstate New York. He was a cowboy in the 1800s. He'd probably never been more than like 300 miles from where he was born. Anyway.
Yeah, the Raiders wouldn't like that. No.
So I don't know if the Buffalo Bill NFL franchise is named in honor of Buffalo Bill Cody or.
God, I hope not.
Because I don't understand there to be any sort of natural correlation between the two things.
Sounds like a question for Emil.
It'd be, yeah, right? Yeah, he's a Buffalo fan. But it'd be like if here in Dallas, like the football team was, the Dallas sushi rolls, or what? It's like that doesn't make sense. Buffalo Bill doesn't have anything to do with the city of Buffalo.
No, and the Raiders are going to go in there.
Yeah.
They also have knives and axes.
Oh, this is such a bad one because you're going to take losses all season long because we have no respect for the Bill franchise mascot. And the Bills are good. The Bills are going to beat a lot of teams, and we're just going to,
Yeah, but I can't go by that. Who knows?
You can't. That's exactly right. It could be a terrible season. Kelly's going with the Raiders over the Buffalo Bills just on principle. This is her system, folks. Don't doubt the system. All right, what's the next one? We got the Raiders at the Bills. How about this one? Chargers at Titans.
Oh, I love to pick the Titans because it sounds so great.
And they're Giants. So this is like we established last week that the only teams that may fare well against the Chargers, because the Chargers are a bolt of lightning, is a Giant or a Titan, or a color brown.
Yeah.
They might survive a bolt of lightning from the Chargers.
I think, it's different for me because I think of Titans and then I think of King Triton from Little Mermaid, and I swear he used to throw like lightning bolts, something.
Underwater. He's throwing lightning bolts underwater. That's what you seem to remember.
Rise up and...
You think in a production meeting, somebody didn't go, hey, he's underwater. He can't throw lightning. He didn't throw, I don't think he threw lightning bolts.
I still going to
go. Zeus.
Come on. Yeah, that's what I think of.
Okay, but Zeus wasn't underwater. Zeus was on Mount Olympus. Throwing lightning bolts.
Titan, it can do whatever it wants. What's the point of being tall if you're just underwater?
That's true. All right, the game at hand. Chargers, a bolt of lightning against a Titan in a Titan's house.
Yeah, Titans.
Yeah, it might just be like, for a Titan, it might be like licking a battery.
Also, if a Titan is underwater and you've got an electric bolt, this is what I forgot to look up. What happens when lightning strikes the sea? It's got to hurt something. But probably not a Titan, so we'll go with the Titan.
Okay, again, Titans have nothing to do with the sea. I know that you're confusing it with King Trident or whatever, but okay, whatever, that's fine.
It's my frame of reference.
That's fine. Right. Don't you believe Braveheart to be a movie about Native Americans? No, it's not.
I never got past that.
It's not a movie. Braveheart is not a movie about Native Americans. Sounds like it. All right, next game. The San Francisco 49ers, those crazy old coots panning for gold, taking on the Los Angeles Rams.
Rams versus 49ers. 49ers. I'm not convinced that they knew what they were doing. A bunch of crazy old people traveling in covered wagons across country in the hopes of gold. No.
Don't you think? Okay, so here's 49. Here's how I look at this. And I don't want to influence you, but so a 49er's an old man panning for gold up in the mountains. Okay, so he's already at where the Rams are. The Rams are up in the mountains. So the 49er guy is just at home where the Rams are. You know what I mean? Because that's where he is.
Well, no, they had to get to the mountains though, because they could have been down. Isn't the water lower?
Okay, but they lived in the mountains among the Rams. So there is no real home field advantage here is what I'm saying. Because even if it was the Rams at the 49ers, it would be like, well, 49ers were in the mountains where the Rams live.
No, but I'm saying that like you could lose half the team because a lot of 49ers died on the way.
Yeah, I'm sure they killed a lot of Rams too going after that goal. I'm sure they slaughtered a lot of animals. Wildlife was not a concern in 1849.
I'm not big on Ram history. Who eats rams?
Indians,
Native Americans.
I don't know. What are they like? I assume they're like sheep, right? Isn't that what they are? And we eat lamb, so you could probably eat or goat. We eat goat. What is a ram? Oh my God! Turns out I don't know what a ram is.
I just imagine it always with its head down, hitting things with its horns.
Doesn't it look like a goat?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like a really angry goat. That's what I think of a ram as. Okay, so 49er, old man at the Rams.
Yeah, I got to go with the Ram. It can't be happy that the 49er is there.
What? Do you think Rams scared 49ers away from panning from gold? Do you think that was a problem? They were Bears maybe, but not a Ram. Okay, well, you got
it for me.
It's your game. It's your game.
I once lived in a place where deer would sometimes run kind of in the backyard in the field, and I was always running the house until I had to.
Deer?
Why am I afraid of deer?
Deer. You just. I mean, if they don't see you, they'll run over you and they'll kill you because they're like. Can I tell you about deer? Okay, so this is funny because you and I grew up in the same part of the country that is lousy with deer. We have deer all over in that part of the country. Yep. I always, from the earliest age, I thought it was the craziest thing that everybody just accepted that across the street, there's like these giant wild livestock running around.
Yeah.
It's just...
It's weird to think of.
Like you see squirrels and you see rabbits and stuff like that, but then you see like a buck, when you and your friends are riding BMX bikes in the forest and you see a buck and you're like, thank God those things aren't mean. Could you imagine if deer were mean?
No. They would attack cars more often. Although they don't attack cars, I think cars attack them.
Really thought I had more of a deer hunk there. All right, next game, 49ers at Rams. You are going with the Rams. Yep. The next game, how about the New York Football Giants? Took one on the chin against the Cowboys last week. Football Giants taking on a team that is just decidedly tanking. Although, didn't they lose only by 1 point? What's that?
It's only one game. How can they be tanking?
Well, because everybody knows they're tanking. They've got nothing, and they want the first pick. Kind of like what the Bears did last year. Giants at Cardinals. Who you like?
Oh, my God. Really?
Yeah.
It's got to be a Giant, but they're going to let me down again, I'm sure. But against a little bird that doesn't even attack? What is it? Cardinals don't attack things.
Cardinals should win no game. A Cardinal should never win. It's a terrible mascot. It's like if we were doing this in baseball, it'd be like the Cubs. Like a little baby bear.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Red Sox or the White Sox with just laundry. Who are they going to beat?
The Cardinals can't win that. I mean, I know in Snow White, those little birds would dress her in like bows and stuff, but I don't think that they could do that to a Giant.
Very helpful. I'm sure a Cardinal could be trained to be very helpful. I just don't think that they could beat a Giant in a football game.
No, they'd be dinner. So we're going to go with Giants.
All right, there she goes. She goes with Giants. The next game, here we go. The New York Football Jets taking on your Dallas Cowboys. Who do you like?
They're at the Cowboys, but they're still a Jet. I got to go with the Jets because this is the problem when I keep watching things on YouTube. And I told you last week about how I read the story that it happens more often than we hear about, that people get sucked into engines that are working for airlines.
Yes, that is a very big concern of yours, and you seem to be at the forefront of investigating it.
Yeah, well, because it seems like they would be trained better than to walk backwards and get sucked into a jet.
Okay.
So I have to go with a jet because also it could run them over.
Right. Big, giant, scary piece of machinery, a jet.
Could fly around and dump all the poop that people have done on the plane onto the people in the field.
Well, the jet is an inanimate object, and a cowboy is a human who can die. Yeah, that's how I kind of look at it. I mean, if the human doesn't get out of the way, there's 11 jets coming after 11 cowboys. They're not going to be able to get out of the way.
No, but the jet has to have a pilot because otherwise it's just an inanimate object. I mean, the ram isn't a dead ram. It's a drone. Alive.
It could be a drone. We have pilotless airplanes now.
They do?
Drones. Yeah, we have pilotless airplanes.
Yeah, no, still, I don't know.
Half of our military planes are drones.
That's true. I'm afraid to fly, too, so I always give the Jets a lot of power.
All right, she's going with the Jets. Kelly's taking the Jets over the Dallas Cowboys. The next game, how about the Commanders at the Broncos? The Washington, D.C. Commanders taking on the Broncos.
Still lost on what the Commander is.
I don't know. It's a general way. We'll go with that, I guess.
General?
Yeah, commander, someone who's in charge militarily, I would guess.
Oh, that's a dumb question for me because Jeff is a lieutenant commander.
There you go. I don't want to say I'm disinterested in my husband's life, but he's a lieutenant commander, and I didn't know what a commander was.
Who are they playing again? I'm sorry, I forgot to write it down.
It's on the screen. Commanders at Broncos.
I can't read this. Oh, that's easier to know. I'm going to go with the Broncos.
The Broncos.
Yeah.
Kelly chooses the Broncos. The Commanders. Why? Why are you going with the crazy horses over the general?
Because crazy horses.
What's that?
One of them almost killed my mother-in-law. Stepped on her.
Okay.
In the arena. That was bad. Things went downhill from there. So.
All right. That sounds fascinating, but we've got a couple more games to get through. Finns next game, Sunday night game, the Miami Dolphins at the Patriots. Dolphins at Patriots on Sunday night. Who do you like, Kelly?
Oh, well, okay. If the Dolphins have to go up there, but I guess that they could go around Florida, go up the seashore to get to New England.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be that much of a, but then it's got, how long can a dolphin stay on land?
I don't know. I bet it's cold too. I bet it's the water up there is cold. They're probably not used to that.
No, probably not. Otherwise, they'd probably be there more often.
Probably hear about more dolphins in New York.
Yeah.
I don't think we do, though. I don't know. You don't, right?
No, I haven't. So we're going to have to go with the Patriots.
Patriots over the Dolphins. Look at that. Okay. That's your upset of the week. I don't know if that's really an upset.
I have no idea.
All right. Final game of the week. We're going to go to Monday night. This is the last pick. This is the Monday night game. This is going to feature the Cleveland Color Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. A big rivalry game. These two teams absolutely hate each other. Who do you like? Browns at Steelers on Monday night.
Old Man Brown or the Color Brown. What's another Brown thing? Sister Wives, the family's name is Brown.
Well, okay, so and this has just come about in the last couple of years. Apparently back in the 50s and 60s, Brownie the Elf was their mascot. And Brownie the Elf went away in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And about 5 years ago, they brought Brownie the Elf back. And now the center of the field at Cleveland Brown Stadium has a big, giant Keebler elf type thing. And I don't know, maybe you mix that in. Maybe because dealing with the color brown is so limiting, maybe we just say, okay, it's Brownie the Elf. It's an elf. So
couldn't you find something intimidating in that? The color brown already, like, who's scared of that? Then brownie. Who doesn't like a brownie? And an elf, they make brownies. Not tough.
Hold on. Let me pull up a picture. Let me show you who we're dealing with here, okay?
No.
All right. Yeah, let's see. We got a picture of Brownie the Elf. Okay. Okay, here you go. All right, we'll show this. So this is maybe who we think of as the mascot of the Cleveland Browns. This is Brownie the Elf as seen on sidelines at the games.
God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what though? He is kind of scary.
He's a scary elf. He's like, look at him right there. There's him from like the 1950s.
Does he have a weapon?
Does not have a weapon. Look at this toe, Kelly. Look at this toe.
Yeah.
That looks like this toe looks like a weapon. He'll kick you.
Yeah. You know what? I might have to go with that because I do forget that elves are scary. Well, not that one.
But, yeah, this one's cute. That one.
Oh, okay. No, that would freak out Steelers, I'm sure.
See, there's their field. So if you want to, color brown, kind of limiting. So there you go. So they're kind of wrapping themselves around in this mascot of Brownie the Elf. So it's this guy versus a union steel worker. Monday Night Football.
I got to go with the elf. It's just like, oh my gosh. Plus we're getting the Christmas season when it's that elf thing. Elf on the shelf.
I think there's a difference. I think you're given to, okay, so let's talk about what elves are. Because Christmas, like elves make, here's my understanding. As a kid growing up, whenever anything got broken that I was upset about, I would leave it out. I'd go to bed, and in the morning I'd wake up and it would be fixed. Like whether it was a stuffed animal that had a hole in it or something. And, the elves came. So that's what the elves do. The elves come at night and they fix shit. Really, it's my mom.
No, get out of here.
No. Because the elves did shitty work sometimes. And I can tell them my mom was just going through the motions.
Good for her, though. Sometimes I forget to sew this stuff up.
So, but then there's also this idea that like Christmas elves, which might be a whole different breed of elf, they have some kind of magical power. Because last week when I said elves they make toys, a lot of people pointed out that no, elves have magical powers. Christmas elves do.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are, but so Cleveland Brown is not a Christmas elf, though. There is nothing Christmassy about that elf. I think he's like the medieval, freaky children's story elf.
Well, it's a cousin to the Christmas elf, so they've got some kind of relation. I don't know. I don't like elves. It's not even just because I don't like the cookie, but I don't like the elf on a shelf. That is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, elf on a shelf.
Oh my gosh. And and I guess if they were going to use their powers for evil instead of good, like they use it for good at Christmas, they'd probably be tough to run up against. I'm going to go with the elves, which I guess is the Browns.
Okay, we should call them the Cleveland Elves from now on.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly's taking the Cleveland Browns over the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football. That's going to do it for this week's Practical Picks. Hold on, wait a second. I'll give you her picks really quick one more time so that we can run through them, okay? Kelly, in the first game of the week, Kelly has the Vikings over the Eagles. She has the Bengals over the Ravens. She has the Lions over the Seahawks, the Texans over the Colts, the Buccaneers over the Bears, the Chiefs over the Jaguars, the Falcons over the Packers, the Raiders over the Bills, the Titans over the Chargers, Rams over the Niners, Giants over the Cards, Jets over the Cowboys, Broncos over the Commanders, Patriots over the Finns on Sunday night, and finally she's got the Brownie Elves over the Steelers on Monday night. Any changes you want to make to that?
No, I'm secure. I'm secure in this. I'm confident.
All right, she's
not
not
about it.
All right, there you have it, folks. That's going to be week 2 of Practical Picks. I'm Pugs Moran.
I'm Kelly.
There she goes. We'll see you next week. Appreciate you. Wait, bye-bye, Kelly. Be nice. Bye-bye, everybody.